Good day, viewers, wherever you're watching OGTV. You're welcome to Peace and Conflict Resolution on OGTV, the People's Telly. Today, we shall be looking into a topic that has to do with you, myself, your siblings, your families, and friends. And what is this topic we're talking about? Contract terms and termination, including the disputes that happens around the issue of contract. My name is Seunfunmi, and with me in the studio, a guest that will do justice to the topic that I've brought to you today, Dr. Samuel Oyebanji Akitunde. Dr. Akitunde, you are welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, sir.
Yeah, we thank God.
Dr. Akitunde, the issue of contract terms, termination, and disputes is so, is so much around us today. We have most of the contractual issues in our law courts today, which are not supposed to be a load before the court. What is the solution, sir?
Thank you very much for the question.
You're most welcome.
Let me say we should start with what is a contract.
Okay.
In a simple term, contract simply means an agreement that the court will recognize as agreement and enforce. The issue is for the court to recognize and enforce it. It must have some characteristics. Number one, the parties must have voluntarily entered into that contract. That is, agree.
Okay.
That agreement must be based on mutual consent of the party concerned.
Okay.
Then secondly, the parties must have capacity, must have ability, because there are some people that are incapable of entering into an agreement.
Wow.
And an infant cannot, because it doesn't understand the issue.
What agreement
yes,
is.
what is undertaken to do. Somebody who is not mentally stable, for example, cannot enter into an agreement, can't agree. So like that. Secondly, the object of that agreement must be legal. If you agree to do what is illegal, that is not enforceable. The court will not regard it as valid. So these are some of the characteristics. But it's the court that to decide whether these elements are there or not. Concerning your question about how pervasive the issue of agreement is an implication for the role of the court. The first thing we must look at it is that, you see, we most time we look at this agreement as something that is not so complex, that is so far away from day-to-day realities of common occupational interactions that people have. Even a commercial vehicle driver and the occupant and the passenger,
yes,
they are in a type of a contract. Take me to this place. Okay. And there have been
that is also a contract.
It is.
Wow.
And it has led to so many problems. Between somebody who say, okay, I'm a carpenter, I want you to do this for you. I told you that you must pay this amount for me to deliver on so date.
Yes.
Is agreement. The issue of tenancy too is agreement. And when you look at all this, if all this will go to the traditional court, I just wonder whether our lordship will be able to deal with them.
Well, there are many before
there are so many. Now, when we now look at the issue is that when they become disputes, these disputes, they are of different categories. There are disputes that involve technical interpretation of context, technical interpretation of the object, that require higher level consideration. At higher level. But majority doesn't need to go to that level. If the disputants are able to subject themselves to a process of mediation, most of them could be resolved. And that's why we need to educate the populace to know that these options are available.
Okay.
Because, number one, most of the people concerned do not have enough money to engage the service of a legal practitioner, given what is at stake itself.
Don't forget, some are doing pro bono.
And secondly, the time required.
Okay.
So many things could have been lost in the process. So if there are things that could be easily resolved, it's in the interest of the justice system to ensure that these were able to solve it at that level. And because they are not aware of this option, so many of these disputes are either turned into violent conflicts, some leading to breakdown of relationships that are vital, some leading to physical violence, some leading to a lot of things you cannot imagine. And two, many just suppress this. They just, it's okay. But being for suppressed, one day it bursts and it affects productivity in so many ways that you cannot imagine. So it is important that we allow a system or encourage a system where people are aware of these options, they explore it, and they are able to resolve such issues without necessarily undertaking the long process of litigation, the long and costly process of litigation. And the court is able to concentrate on critical things that affect the state as an entity, not just the little issues that could be resolved by disputing parties.
Okay. Dr. Akitunde, you have done justice to that. And you have mentioned something that is very, very important. The people that are matured enough to enter into agreements, capacity. You mentioned capacity the other time.
Yes, capacity.
And you mentioned legal, and it must be voluntary. Okay. For instance, for the benefit of our viewers there, if they need to enter into any contract, what step? How do they go about it? And where do you think they need to go?
Well, there are 3 levels. We can have individual, private, domestic agreement.
Okay. Individual, private, domestic agreement. Okay.
We also have corporate agreement that both are commercial in sense of employer, employee. We also have corporate to corporate, an organization and an organization. Now, at the individual domestic level, it's expected that the people who are involved are people who are sane, who have been relating, and their relationship has been satisfactory to the extent that they are ready to commit to themselves. If I want to do a particular job, I want to do this table.
Okay.
I will look for somebody that I believe can do it. So that's normal understanding. So understand that this person I want to contract with has ability
to do it.
To do that thing. Then what you want to do, or what you want that person to do for you, you have to be sure of what you must divine it properly.
Okay. Because
these are the causes of problem. Don't find out before you enter into a contract and now find out that that person is a fraudster. But why haven't you find out about his past, his credibility? Then you too, if you don't specify what you really want, it could be subject of dispute, misunderstanding later on.
Okay.
See, so if
you must know exactly what you want.
So at that level, but by the time you now move forward, you become maybe like union management.
Okay.
You need to have If you have good personnel management department, they will have codified terms and conditions of service that is clear.
Okay. So avoid this.
But beyond that, at times you require the service of union. The law of Nigeria today make provision for trade union. Different trade professional categories have options of different trade union they can belong to. So these training are supposed to be trained people who are experts in representing, to be proper and representative of the workers, their principals that they represent, to present their case properly, so that they will know when to agree or when to go back to see whether what is proposed is agreeable or not.
Okay.
If these foundations are there, there won't be problem. Then when it now comes to corporate, that's where complexity will come in. And at that level, you might require the service of a legal professional.
Okay.
Because the stakes are high, the issue often are complex, the duration of the commitment may be so long that you have to be very careful because things changes. So, but even at that, there are levels. You will not start with going to court. You will start with individual discussion, negotiation.
That could be discussion between parties.
Yes,
okay.
Discussion, negotiation, then mediation, arbitration.
Okay.
Before we now say, this thing, you now need a legal practitioner. So if these precautions were taken, there will not be problem. And of course, if there is structure, institution that support it. For example, now we have multi-door courthouse.
Okay, yes.
In many states, and especially in Ogun State here, is promoting awareness of these options. And it has a structure in place for anybody to take advantage. Just walk in, you'll be attended to.
Just walking?
You just walk in, just go and just say, please, I have this problem. I want the multi-door to assist me. Oh. Any issue you may have, no matter how minute you think it is, will assist you without that very expensive and long procedure. So that is there.
Okay, this issue of just walking, doctor, we may need to expatiate and let Nigerians understand what we mean by just walking.
Now, you see, when I say just walking, I mean walking. That is to say, I have a grievance. Somebody
an issue at hand, right?
Say,
an issue.
Yes, you have an issue.
That is bothering you.
That is bothering you. You have a grievance against somebody.
Okay.
You expect somebody to do something, has not done it. Somebody offended you. It could be issue of land. It could be issue of rent.
That has to do with contract between both parties.
Yes, it even be marital issue.
Okay.
It could even be issue of contract, sew clothes for me, and you didn't deliver, or you don't do it the way it should be done, or you buy land. Maybe these people are selling land up and down, and they don't deliver as they should.
As
required time or to specification. Anything that makes you unhappy, you have a grievance.
Anything that makes you unhappy.
That makes you unhappy. And there is a second party supposed to do something, who has a duty to do something to remedy it, and he has not done it. You can just go to multi-door courthouse at Ishabo here in Abeokuta. And we have in Ijebu, then where is Abeokuta here, and there's about 2 other places.
Okay, do you mean Ota?
Yes.
Shagamu?
Ota, Shagamu,
many
they are there. And you can browse to know, they just say multi-courthouse in Ogun State. You give you the addresses. So the one that is closer to you, just walking to the office. Anybody you meet, just tell them, please, I have this case. I don't know whether you can assist me, they will do. I can assure everyone that is hearing us now, free is a system that the government has graciously put in place to ensure that justice reaches the common people who don't have money or facilities to get a justice
Capacity to pursue.
yes, to pursue to logical end. Just come there, they will assist you.
Let's quickly go on a short break. We'll be back. Welcome back to your program, Peace and Conflict Resolution. Like I said, Dr. Akintunde, before we went on the short break, I wanted to ask you a question. When you mentioned marriage earlier, is marriage a contract?
Yes, it is, but more than a contract.
More than a contract.
It's a contract, but it's also more than it's a contract that is based on covenant. You see, covenant is when you promise, undertake.
Okay.
So it is not always totally dependent on the other party. You said, I love this person, and I will be with you for better, for worse. That is not contract. Contract, there must be correlative obligation,
clauses,
rights, and an obligation.
Okay.
That is contract. If you promise to do something, and that there is nothing to justify that thing, the court may not recognize it. But it's not the same thing when it comes to marriage. You may have good reason for a divorce. And if you go to court, and court will just divorce, they just dissolve the marriage. But you may say, no, I'm not exploiting it. Because I have undertaken. So that's why marital disputes are better treated under mediation arrangement than in the court. When you go to court, it's like you have got to the end of the road. And you must have broken some biggest assumption of marriage. If you go to court, if you get to court, in fact, you just wonder, can you still come back? It's become difficult. But if it is through mediation, there is hope.
There is hope.
Yes, if you reconcile, it's still sustainable. But after you have gone to court, you come back. It may not be easy to continue. So that's the difference.
Okay. Let's come back to contract termination. Why is contract termination always leads to disputes? And I had this. Leave my job. I'm not doing. Simple as ABC. Is it not a free word for you to go and do whatever you like to do? But it will still result to dispute. Why?
Well, it's okay. Let me just say that each time there is a dispute over termination is because both party or either party has gone contrary to the terms.
Okay.
Most times, the terms will have specified not only what is to be done and what is not to be done, but how that contract should come to an end. If they have arrived at that contract in proper way and have consulted experts where necessary in construction, there will have been a clause that if I'm no longer happy with this arrangement, I can
opt out.
Opt out. Having done this. For example, in most employment contracts, there will be a time that says you can terminate this contract based on with maybe 3 months notice or payment in lieu for a good party. So if they do that, there should not be any problem. But most times there are issues because because either one party is mischievous. Mischievous in the sense that you have committed an offense, you have done something wrong, and you do not want the consequences of that action.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, where you believe that somebody has done something he should not do, and you have no option than to do something. You believe you have no option than to do something that you should not have done, and you want to hide it. Instead of you to come through and say, sorry, I cannot go on with this arrangement, and then go. But you think, either I cannot afford to leave this employment for now, but I am pressed, I need to do this. And you now begin to do what is wrong.
You want to hold the bed and the catapult.
So as soon as you are caught and somebody wants to take action, you want to dodge it. And there are complexities.
Issues.
Complexity comes in. So most times, that's the problem.
Breach of contract, like they say, is it the same thing as a contract dispute, contract termination, contract disputes?
Breach of contract
is
what leads to termination, what usually leads to termination.
Okay.
So
it is simple as that.
Yes. It's when you plead breach of terms of contract, then you can legally terminate.
Okay.
Without
On that note, when things like that happened, and you realize one party is somehow taking advantage of the others, and so you mentioned mediation. How can Ogun Multi-Door Courthouse be helpful in that situation?
Number one, if you feel aggrieved,
you
can just walk in. There are officers there that are ready to link you with trained, experienced mediator that will help you to resolve that dispute. Number one. Number two, you see, no one needs to be afraid. It's not the usual legalistic court proceedings. The purpose of mediation is to arrive at mutually satisfactory agreements.
Party-driven.
Agreement. And it is party-driven. So you don't need to say, they are taking me to Multi-Door. This is no. It is when you go there, they're not going to say, this is what you must do. Or no. That everything will be placed on the table. What is right under this situation? The goal is a win-win situation. We have situation whereby people, after they have resolved a terrible, serious conflict,
on that note,
took
doctor,
photograph together.
They become so happy. That is the beauty of it.
Of mediation.
Now,
they say, they embrace themselves.
That's good. Dr. Kitunde, I most sincerely thank you for the justice you have done to this topic. What is your parting shot? You
see, number one, I want all Nigerians to know that we now have what we call Multi-Door Courthouse throughout Nigeria, where you can take any grievance you have for resolution in a peaceful, mutually beneficial win-win solution. So, and it is not expensive at all. And you are not going to come out of that place as two sides. You are going to go in there.
To become one.
You are going to become one with an agreement.
That's good.
So you don't need to take law into your hand. You don't need to suppress your grievance. You don't need to be turbulent. No.
Thank you.
Because there's a procedure now.
Thank you,
mediation.
Dr. Akitunde. I must sincerely thank you for the justice you have done to the topic. That is where we'll be drawing the curtain of today's program, Peace and Conflict Resolution. Today, next week, I want you to invite others. Tell others to watch this. And before next week, I am Oba Seunfunmi Ogunleye. See you, same station, same time. Be there.